Okay, so let's take a look at how you can backup database in SQL Server. So first thing, let's connect to SQL Server, and here you have multiple options to backup your database. So let's say I have database here, testdb, which I can select and then right click, tasks. Okay, so when you right click on database, you can check out tasks, and then you have to check for backup. It should open a dialog, right? So here you can choose the database source, then backup type full, see the location for your backup as well. So you can go with disk or URL. So currently I want to use disk, so I will go with that option. Then you also have other locations to add. You can click on add, then choose the file name, right? And here you can locate the database file, choose the backup file extension, then file name, save, and it will choose that particular path, right? So to modify the path, that is one more way, and also you can remove that selected path, right? So another thing is, we select this database, right? You can also individually choose files and file group over there, right? Then we can also check media options. Here you can backup existing media set, right, and override the media, right? Then backup options, here you can see you can set the name for that backup option, right? At the end, simply click on OK, and here you see backup of database testdb completed successfully. Click OK, right? Now if you want to, let's say, get the backup to restore, what you can do is you can simply, now another thing that you can do is you can open query editor. So right click, new query, and here what you can do is you can simply type in backup space database, then say testdb, right, then to disk, right, then equals to, let's say, path, then let's say your typical testdb file's name, right? And if you run this query, it should back up your database to this particular location. So this is backslash, so remember that if you are on Windows, / if you are on Linux or Mac, right? So this was one query method to back up your database. There is also one more way, which is Powershell method. For that I can open terminal. Right now here what I can do is I can type in backup, then dash, then SQL database, then space, then I can call for server instance, then which is SQL Server 2019 in my case. Then I have to pass the database, then it should be testdb, next thing I have to also check for backup file, then next thing we also have to give it a path where to backup your testdb. So testdb dot back, right, close the quote and hit enter. That should also do the same thing. If there are any spelling mistakes, make sure to correct that, because as you can see here I have made few, so you may have to go through your query just in case there are any errors, right? So pay attention to uppercase, lowercase, and also the location and singular quote, and also the parameters that you pass with dash, right? So keeping that in mind, this is PowerShell's method to backup SQL database, right? Third method is going through Azure Data Studio. which, as you can see here, it needs to be connected, right? So new connection, can choose existing one, connect, and let's say here I have to right click on server, then click manage, right? And then here we have to check for databases, test DB, then click on backup. Let's name this backup test DB full, whatever this is, so we can replace this with our own standard names, or simply keep the same if you want. It will also show you the location where this will be stored, and here you can see the backup type is full, right? Then you can go for compression, and here you see set backup compression and its respective options. Then media, the media is set to backup and append, right? Then transaction log, which is unselected and remains so. Then reliability options, you can perform checksum, verify backup, continue on error, and at the end you will have to click backup. This should create the backup file in this particular location that we have selected. We can change this location to accept desktop with same backup file format. Then clicking on backup will create a backup file, right? So in case of Azure Studio, this is one of the method to backup. Similarly, there is also restore. You can simply choose to restore from database or backup file. So let's choose backup file. You can also choose the location for that file. Let's see, it's on D. Let's say this wide world importer full backup. Click OK, and at the bottom you can see the data related to this particular database, right? Then target database worldwide importers, right? Click on restore. If there is no such database, hopefully it creates one, right? So let's click on restore. Let's see what are some of the things it does. As you can see, the progress within task tab. So we'll see that. And here you see the backup is now restored, and if we browse through this, here you'll see the worldwide importers database is here. You can see the tables, right? And here we can choose to go through them, right? So if we select the table and select top 100, Azure Data Studio should show that output here, right? And as you can see, it has selected the specific columns within table and has selected first 1000 within that database, right? So this is pretty much the Azure Data Studio side of story for backup and restored, right? So similarly, let's cover our SQL Server Studio backup option, where you just have to click on your database, then task, and then backup. Right here, as I already mentioned you, that your location will stay the same by default within your SQL Server's backup directory, right? The same appears within Azure Studio as well. You can also add and remove the path where you wish to save it, right? And also you can choose the backup component, entire database, or files or file group. Also backup type, full, transaction log, or differential. You can choose that. When you click OK, the file should be created at this particular location, right? So if we refresh this, you will see our recently added worldwide importer database that we uploaded just now as a restore option in Azure Data Studio is added here as well, right? So considering it's the same connection, it is kind of obvious that it has refreshed to that new update as well. So these two are methods for backing up your SQL Server database as well as restoring that database